have hello. Okay. Sorry for the disturbance. Okay. Good morning, all of you. Now you all know that we are starting the revision lectures of all subjects. Okay. So in the previous lecture, you have done with the Marathi revision along with the paper pattern or how the questions will be asked based on the lesson or the poetry form, seen, unseen passage. Okay. So now the second lecture, that is the maths. We are going to start with the revision lecture. The topic which I'm going to start today, that is maths to quadrilateral. Okay, and you have done with this. So again, this will be a revision lecture, as I told you just now. So revision means what, students? You have already studied this. Okay, and now you are revising it so that whatever the things you are doing in this academic year, 9th standard, it will be useful for your 10th standard. Means it is the base of the 10th standard. So whatever the revision lectures are going on of all the subjects, I request that students you go through it carefully, okay, and you make your base perfect, okay. You make your base perfect in all your subjects. Now, before starting with the revision of the quadrilateral, I would like to discuss first what exactly the paper pattern of the maths. Okay, so we will be taking the four topics, different four topics, subtopics of the quadrilateral, and in that different subtopics, we are going to discuss what will be the MCQ question, that is the multiple choice question, what will be the 2 marks question, or what will be the activity based question, or which type of question can be asked apart from your textbook. Okay, apart from your textbook, because in maths application part is more important, students. Okay, application part is more important. Application in the sense means when you will be appearing for the 10th standard, total 11 marks question out of the 40 marks, 11 marks question, it is the application based. That means the concept of a particular topic, it is clear, then you can apply that knowledge to the sum and you can solve the question. So this application part is very, very important. But before that, you should know the concept of that particular topic. Okay. So let us see first what is the paper pattern. Uh, just I will share the screen of the paper pattern and then we will move to PPT of the quadrilateral topic. Okay. Just I have taken a pic of it. Okay. Now, if you will see the mathematics paper pattern, students, you have in mathematics part 1 and part 2. Okay. And right now we are in the lecture of the part 2. So part 1, it is of the 40 marks and part 2, it is of the 40 marks. That is 40 plus it will get 80, and whatever the 20 marks, it will be the internal evaluation. Internal evaluation means what? Whatever the assignments or whatever the worksheets you are submitting, students, now. Okay, in your school, teachers are distributing the worksheets. So that particular worksheet, it carries the marks. It will be considered as your assignment. Okay, it will be considered as your assignment. So these worksheets, they are nothing but they are the internal evaluation done by your school teachers. Okay, so I would like to say that the students, if you are not submitting the worksheet, you can go through the worksheet, and worksheets are prepared on the basis of the lesson which are there in the textbook, and submit it so that you can get the internal marks or you can score in that. Okay. Now, if you'll see the type of the question, just a little bit zoom it. I have taken a pic just now. because I thought that before I should start a topic, just I will give a glance of the paper pattern. Okay, now if you see the type of question, students, there are 5 main question, and first 3 question, it has a sub question, that is the question number 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B. Okay, in that first, that is question number 1A, that is the MCQ question. Okay, we are going to discuss this uh, in our lecture. What type of MCQ question, or you must have done with in the maths 1 quiz type question. So we are going to do it same in the maths 2 also. So first A is the MCQ question, 1 mark question for each. 4 questions will be there and 4 marks. Same 1B, 4 questions will be there, and in that 4 question, it will be carrying 4 marks. So 1 question, 1 mark. So students, this there is a no option over here. All the 4 questions you have to solve, and the solution of this question will be hardly in 1 or 2 steps. Okay, will be hardly in 1 or 2 steps. That means a short questions. Then question number 2A and question number 3A. Okay, question number 2A, that is activity based question. So here activity based question, and question number 3A, it is also an activity based question. This type of question also we are going to see in the quadrilateral chapter. What activity based question can be asked in quadrilateral? Okay, so this question is very scoring. Okay, simply you have to fill the boxes. That means the solutions will be given to you. Ready-made solutions will be given, but hardly 4 to 6 boxes will be kept for you to fill that. Okay, so one after the other steps, how you solve the question. Same way, steps will be given, but some boxes will be empty and it has to be filled by you. That is the activity based question. Now, in the paper pattern, if you'll see the last, that is question number 4 and question number 5. Okay, that is question number 4, solve any 2 of the 3 sub questions, 4 marks each. That means question number 4, it carries 8 marks. Okay, 2 questions you have to attempt. So each question it is of 4 marks. So question number 4, it is of the 8 marks. So this 8 marks, students, this is totally based on the application. That means concept will be same, syllabus is same, only the numbers or the framing of the question, it will be different. Numbers will be different, names can be different. Okay, so you can't say that this is out of the textbook. No. Framing, it will be a different, but concept, it will be from your syllabus itself. Okay, and question number 5, last question, that is solve any 1 out of 2 question, and this question, students, carries 3 marks. Here you are getting the option, that is 2 questions will be given. You have to attempt any 1 question and it is of 3 marks. Now here, this question, students, it will be based on your creativity idea. Okay, means how you think logically and solve the sums. Okay, so as I told you that 8 marks question, 8 marks question will be application based. So this question number 5 and question number 4, this 2 question, it is a question based on the higher order thinking skill, that is the hot one. Okay, so for this students, we are taking revision and revision for you, so that your basic concepts become clear and you can able to solve full paper. Okay, so this is how your paper pattern goes for the maths, and it is applicable for maths part 1 as well as for part 2. Okay, now if you'll see the distribution of the marks, that means the easy question, medium question, and the difficult question. Now this difficult question, that is of the 20% of your paper, that will be in question number 4 and question number 5. Okay, and easy question, it will be the activity based and the first question, and the medium question, it totally depends on in the question number 3 and somewhat questions from the question number 4. Okay, so this is a somewhat a rough sketch of your paper pattern. Okay, so now we'll move to our today's topic. Okay, today's topic, as I told you, that we have done it with many times, and this is a revision lecture. Okay, so let us start with it. So I hope that the paper pattern which I have taken within this 5 minutes, just it will give you a rough idea how your paper will look like, or how it will be goes on of part 1 and part 2. Okay, but whatever the topic we will going to discuss today, so I request you all to note down the points as you have noted down before. Okay, I know that you must have noted down before, but again you can note down as it will be a revision type. Okay, and concentrate on the points which I am going to discuss, because on this points itself we are going to see what kind of MCQ question, what activity based question, or 1 mark 2 mark question can be asked. Okay, so let's start with our topic. So as I told you, now this is a revision lecture, so welcome back to this revision lecture, and this is a revision lecture of the topic quadrilateral. Okay, now the topic quadrilateral. Okay, this is a revision of revision day 1. We are going to divide this topic in 4 parts. So this is our first part, or you can say that the day 1. Okay, okay, now before starting with the any topic, you should know what a topic or the name of the lesson indicates. Okay, because sometimes the name of the lesson is in the Latin form. Okay, so here also we'll see what is the definition of the quadrilateral. Now the word quadrilateral, that is the quad, it means 4. Okay, quad, it means what? 4. And lateral means what? Sides. Okay, lateral means what? Sides. So how you will define the quadrilateral? You can define the quadrilateral as a 4-sided closed geometrical figure. Okay, a 4-sided closed geometrical figure. Now again, I just imposed on the word closed, because whatever the 4-sided geometrical figure, if you draw it, okay, that 4 segment, when you join, only then the quadrilateral is formed. Okay, only then the quadrilateral is formed. Now see, definition, how it goes to it. Any 4-sided closed geometrical figure is called a quadrilateral. Now, students here, if I'll say, if I draw the 4 segments, okay, if I draw the 4 segments, for example, here I have drawn the 4 segments, but you can see that it is not joined, means all the 4 segments, they are not joined to each other. Okay, so this particular figure, this particular geometrical figure, I can't say that it is a quadrilateral. Okay, what, it should be a closed one. Okay, it should be a closed one. So the definition itself says that any 4-sided closed geometrical figure is called a quadrilateral. Okay, now here you can see some figures are there. Okay, roughly figures I have drawn, and all the figures which I have drawn, they are all closed figures. They are what? All closed figure. Okay, so all any four-sided closed geometrical figure, it can be termed as the quadrilateral. Now, students, this quadrilateral, it is a very vast topic. Okay, it is a very vast topic. Under that quadrilateral, there are different subtopics. There are what? Different subtopics. Okay, so here we'll see the types of the quadrilateral. Now, what are the types? Because all these types we are going to study in this, or we are going to revise once again all those topics and the question based on these topics. Okay, so what are the types? First one is the parallelogram, rectangle, square, rhombus, and trapezium. Okay, all these are the 5 types of quadrilateral which we are going to revise. Okay, now as I told you that quadrilateral, it can be a square, it can be a rectangle, rhombus, okay, anything. But before going to a particular type of a quadrilateral, okay, first we should know what are the adjacent sides, what are the opposite sides. Okay, so let us just have a look over here in a quick. First is what? Name the quadrilateral and identify its vertices. Now, many of you don't know how to name the given figure, whether it is a triangle, whether it is a square, rectangle, rhombus, anything. You don't know. Name means what? You will say it is a square, but you should know the proper naming. You should know the proper naming of a given quadrilateral. Okay. So when you name any type of quadrilateral, see that you go in a either clockwise or in a anti-clockwise. Don't move here and there, like jumping one place to another. Okay, so how it will be? That is the quadrilateral A B C D. So if you're starting from A B C D. Okay, this is how you know name any figure, whether it is a triangle or whether it is a quadrilateral. This is very, very important, student, and this is a very basic thing. Okay, some students they write quadrilateral A C B D. Okay, this is wrong. When you start, go in a line, whether it is a clockwise or in a anti-clockwise. Okay, then point A, point B, point C, and point D are the vertices of the quadrilateral. Now, these particular points, they are called as what? The vertices of the quadrilateral. Okay, so let us see how to name the adjacent sides. Adjacent sides are what? AB and BC. Adjacent means what? Between two sides, one vertex should be common. Okay, between two sides, one vertex should be common. I can't say that the side AB is adjacent to side DC. Okay, here nothing is common between the two sides. So adjacent sides are nothing but the two sides in which one vertex should be a common. Same way BC and CD, then CD and DA, then DA and AB. Okay, so here you can see between two sides, if one vertex is common, then that particular side they are called what? Adjacent sides. Opposite sides, this is very simple. Opposite means what? Face to face. That is the side AB is opposite to side DC. Side BC is opposite to side AD. Okay. Name the angles of this quadrilateral. Now here also one thing you remember, students, that when the question comes, mention the angles. Okay, mention the angles of a given figure. So you can write the name of the angle in one letter or in a three letter. Okay, there are two ways, but mostly in a triangle we use a three letter naming parts. Okay, so here name the angles of a quadrilateral is what? Angle A, angle B, angle C, and angle D. If I want to name it with the help of a three letter, how I will name it? I will write just a minute. Okay, how I will write? Angle A B C. Okay, angle A B C. Now here This is a 3-letter word I have used to name an angle. That is the angle A, B, C. Now here B is a vertex which is between the A and C. Okay. So this particular angle, it can be written as angle B. Okay. Or angle ABC. Any one way you can write out. But mostly we prefer the 3-letter word for writing the name of the given angle. Okay. Now, can you name the opposite, adjacent angle? That is the adjacent means what? Angle A and angle B. They are adjacent. They are beside each other. Okay. Same way angle C and angle D. Okay. Then opposite angle. Opposite means face to face, as you have written the opposite sides. So this angle A is opposite to angle C, B is opposite to angle D. So this is what the somewhat basic revision of how to write the names, how to write the adjacent side, vertices, opposite angle, and the opposite sides of a given quadrilateral. Now this is very, very important that it can be asked in a multiple choice question that the sum of the measures of all angles of a quadrilateral is dash. Okay, options will be given, and you know that in a quadrilateral the measure of all the 4 angle, it is how much? 360. Okay. Okay, now we'll go to the next. We'll see the first type, that is the first type of a quadrilateral, parallelogram. Okay, now here the first type, parallelogram. As I told you that students try to understand first the name. Okay, as I told you that quadrilateral, quad means what? 4, lateral means what? Sides. Okay, that is the 4-sided closed geometrical figure. So here also parallelogram. Okay, so parallelogram, in this word also parallel words is there. Okay, parallel word is there. So that means any quadrilateral in which the opposite sides are parallel. Okay, opposite sides are parallel. It is called as what? Parallelogram. Okay, so here the definition comes: a quadrilateral having both pairs of opposite sides parallel, both the pairs of opposite sides. Just now we have seen what is opposite sides. Okay, so opposite sides parallel is called a parallelogram. Let us see. Okay, now here you can see the diagram. Okay, diagram of a parallelogram. Now here in this diagram, if you'll see, uh, let us name A, B, C, D. Okay, A, B, C, D. Now this A, B, C, D is a parallelogram. Now how come it will be a parallelogram? That is, this side AB is parallel to side DC. Okay, same way side AD is parallel to side BC. Okay, so if both the pairs of a quadrilateral are parallel, both the pairs of opposite sides of a quadrilateral are parallel, then that particular quadrilateral, it is called as what? Parallelogram. It's very simple, students. If in the question they give you the condition as it is given over here, segment AB is parallel to segment DC and segment AD is parallel to segment BC. This is condition given. So if you see such condition in the question, then it is very easy to identify that the given quadrilateral is a parallelogram. No need that to see whether it is a parallelogram or no. It is written in the question. But if you know the condition, if you identify properly from the figure, you can identify the type of the quadrilateral. Now, as you know this parallelogram, We'll see now what are the properties. Okay, what are the properties of parallelogram? Now, the first property that we have studied is adjacent angles of a parallelogram are supplementary. Okay. See students, now you must be thinking that why I have taken that revision slide, because all these words, opposite sides, adjacent angles, all these words are coming as you move ahead. Okay. So your first property is what? Adjacent angles of a parallelogram are supplementary. Supplementary means what? 180 degree. Okay. Supplementary means what? 180 degree. So the adjacent angle of a parallelogram are supplementary. So if I'll just move back my this cursor, or if I take the previous slide, okay. So your adjacent angle, it will be what? Angle D, okay, and angle C. Angle D and angle C, they are the adjacent angle. So the measure of this adjacent angle in a parallelogram is 180 degree. Okay, is what? 180 degree. Okay. Now the second property, that is opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent. Now you have seen that the opposite sides are parallel to each other. Okay. Opposite sides are what? Parallel to each other. So if they are parallel, then we can say that they are congruent. Okay. So the second property of a parallelogram holds that opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent. Now the third property, that is opposite angles of a parallelogram are congruent. So if the opposite sides are congruent, okay, opposite sides are congruent, then the opposite angle will also be congruent. Now students, again I would like to tell you that this property, just understand it carefully, okay, because based on this property, as I told you, that this property, if you understand it properly, then you can solve any type of question, okay, using this property. Okay. So the third property which we have seen over here, the opposite angles of a parallelogram are congruent. Okay. Now the fourth one, that is diagonal of a parallelogram bisect each other. Now here this is very important topic, property, that is diagonal of a parallelogram, they bisect each other. Okay. Now the bisect each other means what? When the diagonals, when you know that a quadrilateral, it holds two diagonals. Okay, it holds how many diagonals? Two diagonals. So if two diagonals, they intersect each other at one single point, okay, that means that point will be the midpoint of the diagonal. Okay, that point will be the midpoint of the diagonal, and that is the meaning of the bisection. Okay, that is the meaning of the bisection. Bisection means what? Midpoint. Okay. Now, next topic, that is the test for the parallel lines. Again, this is a revision from your parallel lines chapter. Okay, because this test, they are correlated to the parallelogram. Okay, this test, they are correlated to the parallelogram. If this test for parallel lines, it is clear, then whatever the test we are going to study for the parallelogram, you will be able to understand it very easily. Okay, so there is a correlation between test for the parallel lines and test for the parallelogram. So before you understand the test for the parallelogram, you should know what are the tests for the parallel lines. Now parallel lines, we have done it in the second chapter. Okay, parallel lines, they is nothing but the lines which do not intersect each other. Okay, the lines which do not intersect each other, they are called as what? Parallel lines. And if this parallel line, it is intersected by a transverse line, another line, that another line or the third line, it will be called as a transversal. Okay, it will be called as a transversal. So this you have done in the parallel line lesson, that is types of angles formed by two parallel lines and a transversal. So how many types of angles are formed? Corresponding angles, alternate angles, and interior angles. Okay, these three types of angles are formed when two parallel lines are intersected by a transversal. So let us see the first test for the parallel lines. What the first test or the statement of the first test for the parallel lines states? If a transversal intersects two lines, okay, if a transversal intersects two lines and a pair of corresponding angles are congruent, then those two lines are parallel. So this is very, very important. That is, the pair of corresponding angles are congruent. Okay, when two parallel lines, it is intersected by a transversal, then the corresponding angles which are formed, they are what? Congruent. Okay, they are what? Congruent. Now the second test is what? If a transversal intersects two lines and a pair of alternate angle is congruent, then those two lines are parallel. So again, as the first test states that corresponding angles are congruent, so alternate angles are also congruent, which are formed by two parallel lines and one transversal. Okay, now for your information, alternate angle, but they are nothing but the angle formed in a Z shape. Okay, angle formed in a Z shape. So this alternate angle, it can be an interior or it can be an exterior. Okay, and corresponding angle, they are nothing but the angles which are formed on the same line of the transversal. Okay, which are formed on the same line of the transversal. So from these two tests, we conclude that whatever the corresponding angle forms, whatever the alternate angles are formed, they are always congruent. They are always congruent when two parallel lines it is intersected by a transversal. Okay, or vice versa, you can say that if the pair of corresponding angles are congruent, or if a pair of alternate angles are congruent, if these two type of angles are congruent, we can say that, students, that the given two lines, they are parallel to each other. Okay, they are what? Parallel to each other. So both the way you can say that. Okay, so if the lines are parallel, corresponding angle and the alternate angles are congruent, or if corresponding angles and alternate angles are congruent, then we can say that the lines are parallel. It is so simple. Okay, now see the third one, that is the interior angle. Okay, now here you have seen that the corresponding angle and the alternate angles are congruent, but this case it does not hold for the interior angle. Okay, so what is condition for the interior angle? If the interior angles are supplementary, that is, if the measure of the two interior angles is 180-degree, then we can say that the lines are parallel. We can say that the lines are parallel. Or if the lines are parallel, then the angle which is formed, okay, or the interior angle which is formed, they are supplementary. Okay, vice versa, you can say. Okay, so this three test, students, it is very, very important. Okay, and simple 2 marks activity based proof they can give. Okay, they can give proof based on this test for the parallel lines. It is so simple, but only trick what you have to remember, that corresponding and alternate angle, they are congruent, and only interior angle is what? Supplementary. Okay, this three words or these three steps, try to remember it. Okay, no need to learn by heart the whole statement. Whole statement you can write down in your own words, that if a transversal intersects the two parallel line, or a two parallel lines are intersected by a transversal, then the angle or the corresponding angle, alternate angle formed by the transversal, they are congruent. Okay, same way, two parallel lines intersected by a transversal and the interior angle formed by, through it, it is what? Supplementary. Okay, so this is the test for the parallel lines. Now we have seen, as these are the tests which are correlated to the test for the parallelogram. Now why I'm telling you, students, because if you know the test for the parallel lines, it will be easy to understand the test for parallelograms. Okay, and the properties which we have seen, the four properties along with the test for the parallel lines, okay, along with the test for the parallel lines, these two things will be helpful for solving the sums. Okay, for solving the sums. So let us see the first test for the parallelograms. Okay, now the first test. Now what is this test? You must be thinking, teacher, you are telling that test for parallel lines, test for parallelogram. What is that test? Test means what, students? Suppose if you want to prove, okay, if you want to prove the given quadrilateral is a parallelogram, any quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then you can apply any of these four tests, any of these four tests, and you can prove that the given quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Okay, and students see that in maths 1, there is a specific formula, there is a specific substitution method and the steps. Okay, but in maths 2, if you want to prove anything, you can prove it in your own words. Okay, but see that whatever you are using the properties, whatever you are using the concept, it should be related to the topic. Okay, for example, now I have told you that if you want to prove any quadrilateral parallelogram, you can apply any of these four tests and you can write down the proof in your own words. Okay, you can write down the proofs in your own word. Okay, but don't forget to mention the test which you are using. That means you have to mention the reason. Okay, this is very important in maths too. Okay, this is very important in maths too. That is, whatever the theorem, whatever the property, whatever you are using, that you should write as a reason for that particular steps. Okay, so now let's move towards the test for the parallelogram. Now the first test, if the opposite angles of a quadrilateral are congruent. Now this we have seen in the property that the opposite angles of a parallelogram are congruent. Okay, so here, if the opposite angles of a quadrilateral are congruent, then we can say that a quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So if opposite angles, that is angle S and angle Q, they are opposite angles, P and R, they are opposite angles. So if these two opposite angles, any of the pair, if you are able to show that the pair of opposite angles are congruent, then you can show, it is easy for you to prove the given quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Okay, the second test is what? If the opposite sides of a quadrilateral are congruent. This is also the property holds for the parallelogram, that the opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent. Four properties we have seen. Okay, on that four properties only we are going to study the test. Okay, and this test, it is based on the parallel lines. So all these, they are correlated to each other. You can see, students, now. Okay, so if the opposite sides of a quadrilateral are congruent, then the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So here you can see the opposite sides, that is the side AD and side BC. These are the two opposite sides, whereas side DC and side AB, these two are the opposite sides. So if these opposite sides are congruent, then you can say that the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Now for this second test, students, I would like to give you example of a square. Okay, example of a square. You know that all the sides of a square are equal, are congruent. So the opposite sides, pair of opposite sides are congruent. So you can say that the square is a parallelogram. Yes, yes, of course, because here the second test it's applicable for the square. Okay, it is applicable for the square. Even the first one, the opposite angle. In a square, all the four angles are 90 degrees. So the opposite angles are 90 degrees. Yes, both the pair of opposite angles are 90 degrees. So they are congruent. So square, you can say that it is a parallelogram. Okay. So if you know it properly, you can apply it in various types of quadrilateral. Okay, let us move to the third test for parallelograms. If the diagonal of a quadrilateral bisect each other, okay, as I told you that diagonal, here you can see in a quadrilateral PQRS, this is a quadrilateral. And as I told you that in any type of quadrilateral, only two diagonals holds. Okay, that means there are only two diagonals which we can draw in any type of quadrilateral. Okay. So what is the meaning of the bisect each other? Now these two diagonal, they bisect each other at point M. Okay, their point M. So this distance, that is the SM and QM, they will be exactly same. They will be exactly same. Same case here also, PM will be equal to RM. Okay, so that is the meaning of bisect each other. Bisect each other means what? M is the midpoint of PR and M is the midpoint of SQ. Okay, that is the third test for parallelogram. Okay, now the fourth and the last one, that is the test for the parallelogram. If the opposite sides of a quadrilateral are parallel as well as they are congruent. Okay, so here two things, they are merged in one test only. Okay. So the opposite sides of a quadrilateral. Here you can see the quadrilateral LMNK. In this quadrilateral, opposite sides are parallel. That means LK, it is parallel to MN. Okay. Whereas LK is congruent to MN. LK is congruent to MN. So if these two conditions are satisfied, then the quadrilateral which is given, you can say that this quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Okay. So this test and the properties, students, they are very, very important. Okay, for solving the sums. Let us move to the next. Sorry. Okay. Now we have done with the definition of a quadrilateral. Okay, definition of a quadrilateral. Then we have done with the types of the quadrilateral. Then we have moved forward to the first type, that is a parallelogram. What is a parallelogram? Okay, definition of the parallelogram. Then properties of parallelogram. What there are the four properties of the parallelogram. Okay. Now, after the properties, we have seen the test for the parallel lines and test for the parallelogram. Okay. Now, as I have discussed in the beginning of my lecture, the paper pattern of the maths. In that paper pattern, the first question, that is the question number 1A. Choose the correct alternative. Okay, that is the MCQ question. MCQ means what? Multiple choice question. Okay, multiple choice question. That means one question will be given to you and four options will be given. Now, students, these four options, they will be somewhat similar. they will be what? Somewhat similar to each other. There will be no difference, vast difference in between them. There will be somewhat similar. That means if the correct answer is 10, in the auction, they may give 10, they may give -10, okay, only to confuse the students, only to confuse the students. But students, you are too smart, okay, you are too smart because you are doing revision and revision. You are doing revision and revision, and in this way, you are building your concept perfect, or you are building your concept very much clear. Okay, so if your concepts are clear, then whatever the questions are asked, you will able to solve. Okay, so here we are going to see now what type of multiple choice can be asked on the basis of the parallelogram, on the basis of the parallelogram. And this multiple choice question, students, it carries 1 mark. That means one question, 1 mark. Okay, and of course there is a method of writing the multiple choice question answer. That means you are going to write the answer, but in maths you can find the answer only if you solve it. Okay, means you have to solve the question, only then you will get the answer, because maths is not a subject that you can by heart like your other subject. Okay, other subject you can by heart fill in the blank, true or false, odd man out, and you can just pick out the correct one because there the answer is fixed. But here in maths you need to solve, and then you have to match your answer on the options which is given in the question. Okay, so let us see. First one, here on the screen you can see the parallelogram or a figure, closed figure, that is A, B, C, D. Okay, just I'm giving 1 minute. Okay, now here you can see the diagram, that is a quadrilateral ABCD. Okay, now this is the quadrilateral for you. Why? Because it is a close-sided, four-sided closed figure. Okay, this is a quadrilateral. After quadrilateral, see that which type of quadrilateral is given in the question, or identify itself from the diagram. Okay, identifying itself from the diagram that what type of quadrilateral is there. Okay, so let us see the question. Quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram. That means it is given in the question that it is a parallelogram. So what else it is given? That is angle B is equal to 5x degree. Sorry, here it has been just an opposite. So here angle D is 5x, okay, and if I'll go as per the diagram, angle B is what? 60 degree, okay. Then what is the value of x? Okay, what is the value of x? Now, as I told you that you will be getting the 4 option, okay, 4 option. Now, how to do this, or how you will get this answer, okay? So once it is given that this is a parallelogram, students, okay, it is given that it is a parallelogram, and we know the properties of a parallelogram, as well as we know the test for the parallelogram. So we can solve this question, okay? So what or which property you can apply over here? That is, opposite angles of a parallelogram are congruent. Okay, so here this angle A is opposite to angle C, but we are not interested in angle A and C. Okay, we are interested to find the value of x. We are interested in finding the value of x, and here you can see that the angle D is given as 5x, whereas angle B it is given as what? 60. Okay, so these two angle D and angle B, they are the opposite angles. And as per the property, that is the opposite angles of a quadrilateral are congruent. So let us see how to find out this. Okay, now here there are four options. Option A 12, B 5, C 60 and D 120. I told you that it will be somewhat similar. All the options will be somewhat similar to each other. But students, you are very smart. You know all the concept. So be firm with that and solve it and try to match your answer with the option which is given in the question. Okay. So here it is given that B angle B as 5x. So 5x. Okay. 5x degree. Okay. And here 60 degree. As per the property, these two opposite angles, these are the two opposite angles, and opposite angles of a parallelogram, it is what? Congruent. So this is a multiple given. X is a multiple. Okay, X is a multiple. So by which number, if you will multiply it by 5, you will get 60. Yes, that is 12. Okay, so here 5 multiplied by 12 will give you what? 60. Okay, so the multiple or the value, the multiple x, the value for the x, it is what? 12. Okay, so by the correct option among the four given option, it is what? 12. Okay, so when you write the answer for such type of question, okay, when you write the answer for such type of question, that is the MCQ question, this working part which I have done over here, okay, simple working part, you can do this working part in your rough work column, but when you write the answer, that is the question number 1A, first you write the answer. So you have to write, suppose here I have written question 1A, okay, this is my question and this is my sub question. Okay, first one. So first answer, how I will write as option A. Okay, I will write it as option A. So either you can write down the option, that is the option A, or you can write down the answer as 12. Okay, you can write down the answer as 12. That is, here I am showing, because lack of space, you can write down the answer 12. Okay, so any of the option you can write down, that is either option A or option write as 12. Okay, but if you write but if you write as 1A equal to 12, okay, if you write in this way, okay students, see, it is very important thing to know. If you write in this way, that is the first sub option, A equal to 12, then in exam, even if your answer is correct, you will not get marks. You will not get marks. Directly you will get 0. Directly you will get 0. Sorry. Why 0? Because here in the question they have mentioned, choose the correct alternative from the given option below. That means either you have to write the option or you have to write the correct answer. But if you write both the things together, even if your answer is correct, you will get 0. Okay, you will get what? 0. Now this I am telling you because same case it follows in your 10th standard board exam. Okay, as I am correcting the paper, I know that if a students write both the things together, we are strictly told to give them 0, even if the answer is correct. Okay, so this is very important thing when you attempt the multiple choice question. So either you write the name of the option, option A, option B, option C, or option D. Don't write the word option, students. I'm speaking the option, so don't think that teacher is telling that option A, so we have to write option A. No, only A, B, C, or D. Okay, or instead of writing A, B, C, only you can write down 12 or 5 or 60 or 120. Okay, so this is very important thing that you should know and you have to practice from this year itself. Okay, so I hope that the first question is clear. So students, as we are moving, I will tell you what things you should take care while solving the question of 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark, 4 mark, or any type of activity based question. Okay, so all these minute things, students, just note down or keep in mind. Okay, now let us see the second question. You can see in the diagram, PQRS is a quadrilateral. Okay, angle P is given as 110 degree. So let us see what is the question. Quadrilateral PQRS, a parallelogram. It is a parallelogram is given. So once you see the word parallelogram, try to recollect all the properties of the parallelogram. Only 4 properties are there, and all the 4 properties, they are simple. Okay, so PQRS, a parallelogram. Angle P is equal to 110 degree. Angle P is equal to 110 degree. Then angle Q equals to dash. Okay, angle Q equals to dash. That means here you have to find out this angle. Okay, so let us see what are the options given. Okay, now the options are angle A 120, angle B 110, angle C 70 degree, and option D, that is a 60 degree. Okay, all the 4 options are given. So here angle P is given 110. You have to find out angle Q. Okay, and if you remember, the first property which we have seen or we have revised, that is adjacent angles of a parallelogram are supplementary. Adjacent angles of a parallelogram are what? Supplementary. So here in the diagram you can see that angle P, this angle P and angle Q, they are what? Adjacent angles. Okay, they are what? Adjacent angles. So if these are adjacent angle, their measure should be supplementary, means their measure should be what? 180 degree. Okay, so if angle P equals to 110, then angle Q, it has to be what? What it has to be? Yes, correct. That is the correct option is what? C. That is 70 degree. Okay, so this is how we will solve. That is, I'm just solving it roughly. 110 degree. Okay, plus angle Q equal to 180 degree. Okay, why? Because they are supplementary angle. So angle Q equal to what? It will be equal to, after equal to what it is there? 180. Okay, 180 minus 110. Okay, 180 minus 110 will give you how much? 70 degree. Okay, so this particular rough work, you can or the solving part, you can show it in the rough work column. Okay, but when you write the option, you can write down what? That is the second question. How you will write down? Second question, that is correct option is what? C. Okay, so this is the second question. And see students, the properties, it is not useful only in solving the big sums, but the MCQ question can also be asked based on the properties. Okay, let us see the next one. So ultimately what students, that you should know the properties properly. Okay, you should know the properties properly, so that any type of question comes, whether it is an MCQ question or a lengthy question, you will able to solve. Okay, now the third question or the third type MCQ, quadrilateral XYZW is a parallelogram. Okay, it is given, it is a parallelogram. So again, you have to recollect all the properties, all the four properties of a parallelogram. Okay, and diagonal intersect at O. Okay, diagonals, that is a diagonal XZ and YW, they intersect at O. Okay, so if OY or YO is 5 centimeter, then what is YW? Okay, what is YW? So let us see what are the options given over here. Okay, the first option is 5 centimeter, second option is 10 centimeter, third option is 15 centimeter, and the fourth option is cannot be determined. Okay, if all the four options are given, now you have to select the correct one. Okay, so how it will work? OY equals to 5 centimeter. Now since diagonals, these two are the diagonal and they intersect at point O, that means point O, it is the midpoint of the diagonals. Okay, that is the O is the midpoint of YW. Okay, so if YO is 5, WO it also be 5. Okay, WO it also be 5 centimeter. Okay, so how much it will be YW? It will be, yes, it will be how much? 10 centimeter. Okay, so here also we have used the property of a parallelogram, that diagonals of